Cool. I see it going. What's up, Periscope? What's up, D Live? I see you on Facebook and Mixer. Nice. Get ready for YouTube. I see YouTube now. And it is Thursday. It's May 14th, 2020. I'm wearing my Get a Job t-shirt. There are more Get a Job t-shirts available. Also a sticker right here, right? Boom. Check it out. Links available at the Get a Job store. At the Get a Job channel, I mean. Get a Job is the guy that puts together the Jesse Lee Peterson Savage Moments. Good guy. I don't know if I've seen him in the chat. Has he been in the chat lately? But anyways, what's up, guys? We should be getting pretty well ready. Just a quick before we get started. Remember to check out the Bond Sunday service that came out, originally came out August 30th, 2009. Well, it premiered yesterday evening on Bond Rebuilding the Man YouTube channel. I was in the live chat in there with the people a little bit. The you and the not you. Very nice episode. Jesse Lee Peterson talked about how addictions aren't real but in the mind, and the withdrawals and this ego pain that you go through going without are not you. Don't identify with it and then get depressed. Cool, huh? We're updating and catching up on the podcasts on the Sunday services too. That the podcasts go up on the Church with Jesse Lee Peterson podcast. I guess that's all it is. So anyways, I'm going to be talking about Biden, the oppressive government mess, the gays shutting down the Christians, basically, and all that mess. And I also want to touch on Howard Stern, Baba Go-To guy, on getting advice, counsel, experts, and a text that I got from the ACLU. And maybe I'll get to that Gloria Vanderbilt thing that I've been promising. Maybe I should just leave that alone, right? Anyways, let's get started with the show. We should hopefully you'll hear the whole song this time. I'm sorry, guys. We just keep on dropping. It's a mess. But bear with us. We're trudging through this corona. And I will get to your super chats as well. Appreciate them. Let's get started.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey, guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, what's up, guys? I am James Hake. As I said, this is the Hake Report, and it is Thursday, May 14th, 2020. Doesn't it feel like a certain day? I know that the 14th is... Never mind. Whatever. Mo Betta Jankum gave a diamond and said, giving back to the church, get that Joel song, Hake. Maybe he will do it. I'll work with him. Maybe. Marie May Begalot, or Begalot, or Begolet, gave a diamond and said, thoughts on a debt jubilee by Trump. Oh, interesting. A debt jubilee is like in the olden days in the Old Testament, the year of Jubilee was like every 7th year and every debt would be forgiven, right? Something like that. And I don't know. I don't know if I'm for that entirely. Debts. I don't know, man. I'm not sure. I'll have to think about it. Appreciate that, Miriam. I don't know how you pronounce your name. Marie May Begolet. Maybe I'm pronouncing that right. Mo Betta Jankum says it's Thursday. Earl is coming on to practice for JLP tomorrow. Earl calls in on the Get It Off Your Chest Friday stuff. So, what's up, guys? Appreciate you joining. Jib Jab says, wait for it. King Alpha Nerd says, if LeBron and others care about blacks, LeBron James, that is, the badminton player, tennis, volleyball, Why don't he go live in the black community? I rest my case. And by the way, I Googled his fence at the tail end of the Jesse Lee Peterson show today. Tyrone from Chicago. Tyrone. He called in with his white sounding voice, according to Jesse. I think he sounds a little bit black. But he claimed that we saw the fence with the N-word on it. We saw the fence. It's all black. We didn't see the N-word on it. Hot Computer Smell gave a $1. I mean, thank you, Hot Computer Smell. And Jib Jab gave a super chat and said, cool. Thank you. And thumbs up. So let's dive right into this. I was telling you about the Bond Rebuilding the Man channel. It's an excellent channel. Okay, so I got this from Fleckus Talks. He tweeted this out. This is a tweet from Fleckus Talks. He says, Biden unmasked General Flynn. General Flynn being Trump's NSA guy, National Security Advisor. So much better than that rhino that he hired later, the Warhawk guy, who seems to be of questionable loyalty. John Bolton. I don't know if he's questionable loyalty. Yeah, because he's a rhino. He's not lame guy, John Bolton. But anyways, think about John Bolton versus General Flynn. John Bolton might have gotten embarrassed a little bit because he got kind of abruptly either resigned or let go by Trump. But General Flynn, did he spend any jail time? I don't know. But he had his family, the so-called legal trouble with his family. And by legal, I mean liberal, activist, corrupt people going after him. But Biden unmasked Joe Biden, former vice president at the time. Joe Biden unmasked General Flynn on January 12th, 2017, days before Trump was going to take office, all right? This is at the tail end of the Obama administration, Obama-Biden. Later that day, Biden received the Medal of Freedom during a surprise ceremony given by Obama. Isn't that corrupt? Pretty interesting, huh? So shout out to Fleckus for that. Austin Fletcher, real name. Forbes reported, according to the document, Biden made the request January 12th, 2017, 8 days before leaving office. An accompanying memo to Grinnell, signed by the National Security Agency Director Paul Nakasone, specifies that each official listed was an authorized recipient and that the unmasking was approved through the agency's normal process. Shady. And he quote tweeted the New York Times article of, oh my gosh, I gotta put this in here. Go ahead and copy strike me, New York Times. I'm gonna give Joel a picture of Obama giving Biden, who's looking every bit as old and lost there as he did. Hang on, Joel, I'm gonna let you know. As he does today. Biden and Obama. What a nightmare, huh? That was miserable. So here is, I'll let you know right now. It's a gobbledygook sort of file name. C2CWTM blah, blah, blah. Here's the picture. So what a mess. The Obamas seemed, the Obama administration seemed to, the laws have become so corrupt anyways, that you can easily do really immoral things while so-called staying out of legal trouble, especially if you're a secretive administration, such as Obama was. He pretended that he was going to stream everything on C-SPAN. But no, he made closed-door deals. I remember hearing Sean Hannity say, closed-door deals to get Obamacare shoved through against the will of the people, right? And meanwhile, Trump is like the most transparent. And it's leaking like crazy because he has so many enemies inside of the administration and inside of the deep state, right? It's embedded in you can't even fire them all. What a mess. So that's Biden being nasty. They didn't even really have to know. Flynn's name. It was completely nothing. It was completely innocent. There was nothing that came out of Flynn's conversation with the Russian guy. And supposedly he lied. I don't believe he even lied. Anyways, I have an encouraging photograph for you guys, and yet it's kind of discouraging. I have a picture of a crowded restaurant on Mother's Day, and this took place in Colorado. But the discouraging part, so let me show you this picture. It's CC Mother's Day crowd. I told you guys about this in Hake News. It was a Drudge headline. People are still mad at me for reading Drudge. Some people don't mind it. A Castle Rock restaurant that defied the state's public health order that opened Mother's Day has been shut down for at least 30 days by the so-called health department. Ridiculous, right? And this is called C&C Breakfast and Korean Kitchen. But you see like a lot of whites and maybe some others crowding this restaurant. It's not a purely Korean restaurant. But on Trail Boss Drive, I'm letting you guys know so you guys could visit the place and after it opens up again and support them. Castle Rock, Colorado. Monday, the Tri-County Health Department issued an order to close the C&C Breakfast and Korean Kitchen just after noon. Officials stated they warned the owners on Friday not to open the dining room, but they did. After warning the restaurant on Friday not to open and reminding them that they are only allowed to do takeout and delivery, like they have any say. Ridiculous. They're pretending that to have say. And a whole lot of liberal judges seem to be siding with them. Everything is political for these liberals. Everything. And they're hiding behind their false version of morality. Their fear, their lack of knowledge that they're pretending to have as knowledge, right? The restaurant was open to dine in eating on May 10th, which was Mother's Day. On Monday, I have this picture of this guy, Governor Jared Polis. I forget, Polis. A Democrat said it would, and not just a Democrat, I'll tell you more about him, said that it would be closed for at least 30 days. Why? Polis said the restaurant caused an immediate health hazard and he was extremely disappointed. He said, quote, I joined most Coloradans. I think I have a better, more zoomed in picture of him actually. Jared Schultz Polis. I joined most Coloradans in our frustration watching videos of people illegally packed into restaurants and thinking about all the moms, liberals always say moms, and grandmothers and aunts and everyone, all female stuff, and aunts and everyone who was put at increased risk of dying from this horrible virus. And you know what's funny? This guy talking about the moms and aunts and grandmothers. Meanwhile, men are more likely to die from this thing, I heard. So he doesn't care about such a phony person. But this stupid governor, Jared Polis, can I say stupid? Sorry, kids. Is, of course, a Democrat, but with a homosexual partner. Ugh. Throw up. Who has a first gentleman, a partner, Marlon Rice. I might have covered information about this person before. Marlon Rice, first gentleman of Colorado. This is his Facebook page information.
Does that mean that's like first lady? But
yeah.
What the?
First gentleman. I don't know if they're pretending that they're married or if they're just domestic partners or whatever. But yeah, that's what that means, guys and gals. I guess this is kind of not for kids. Can you believe it? How humiliating. You know, the country of Ireland, I think it's Ireland. I don't think it's Northern Ireland. I think it's the country of Ireland has a homosexual prime minister who came to America with his so-called husband. That's humiliating. Why would you elect weak, vindictive, mean people? Is it like the meanest? Well, I don't know. They're among very mean, vindictive people, right? We know this. But this guy, here's his. You have his Facebook page. I think there's another version of the Facebook page. Oh yeah, the one without the 2 behind it. First gentleman, Marlon Rice, and he's like an animal rights activist. Gross, huh? What a mess. No, terrible. Joel zoomed in on it, this person. Anyways, just wanted to share that with you. The picture, excuse me, it's encouraging that, and I've been live consistently, right? No drops. It's encouraging that the people are willing to still like show up and have fun. And I seriously doubt that they're going to get sick from meeting in large crowds at this thing and putting grandmothers and mothers and moms and aunts at risk. I guess he said that because all the men are already dead. Joe says, "Oh, he's all the way gay." Yeah. Anyways, speaking of degeneracy, Howard Stern, degeneracy meaning like moral degeneration. Howard Stern is a has-been. I'm sorry to say, he just is. Howard Stern, I remember hearing him in high school with some high school friends, teammates on the cross-country team and the older guys. He marked like a big step in the growing degeneracy, right? Throughout my lifetime that I noticed, right? The Simpsons, remember that cartoon show with Bart Simpson? Kind of a degenerate show. The little kids kind of cussing a little bit. Saying edgier side of words, borderline cussing, right? For us, it was considered cussing. And he was kind of perverted. Then Married with Children was pretty perverted too. I remember the son coming in, "I had sex with a girl." Married with Children, my friends loved Married with Children. I never got to watch it, except for when I was at a friend's house. But I didn't really like it. I didn't like the actor at the time, the father. Made the father look like a lame guy. And then Howard Stern was another step of those steps of degeneracy, growing degeneracy, accepted in the mainstream on TV and stuff like that. Degenerate black rappers, I started to like rap too. The gangster rap stuff. Eminem was considered real bad, supposedly. Family Guy, that cartoon show that made Simpsons seem like very PG or very G-rated. Modern Family, the live action, I don't know, all these gross sitcoms. Will and Grace was homosexual, I heard, but I never watched it. And then there's like the dance styles. You heard about grinding, which is where, never mind, twerking. And then they have pole dance classes. And so when somebody tweets out a picture or a video of a presumably single mother who's showing her little, almost a baby daughter how to pole dance, be a stripper, meaning somebody said, "I thought pole dancing was a thing. How come pole dancing?" And this woman is like half naked, more than half naked, 3/4 naked, and dancing with her daughter, blacks. And you have people defending it, saying, "Oh, pole dancing is a thing. It's just pole dancing. It's not stripping." That's my homegrown Christian upbringing talking, I guess. But I'm not wrong, though. But Howard Stern, yes, it was very degenerate, right? But he was still pretty funny, I think. The little bits that I heard, right? Some of it was really gross, but some of it was pretty funny. Very popular. Kind of a free speech guy, right? I guess. A free speech icon. Although it was vulgar, a lot of it. But anyways, this guy's calling on Trump to resign as if anybody, I don't know, does he have as big of an audience anymore? I don't think so. Somebody said that he got married to some woman named Beth or something like that. Called on Trump to resign. And he was all big on Drudge like it's a big deal, right? But listen to this stuff that he's saying and see if it makes any sense to you, really. He says that President Trump hates his own supporters and it would be extremely patriotic for him to shut down, according to The Sun, right? Which is dumb. Here's this guy lying. I read this to you in Hake News and towards the end, but I have a little bit more. He said, the oddity in all of this is the people Trump despises most. Does that even sound like Trump? Trump doesn't despise anybody, except for maybe the media, the fake news. The people Trump despises the most love him the most, according to this Howard Stern guy. That's not true. The people who are voting for Trump, for the most part, he wouldn't even let them in a blanking hotel. He'd be disgusted by them. Go to Mar-a-Lago, see if there's any people who look like you, referring to normal people. Normal everyday, because Howard Stern knows that the normal people vote for Trump. Not necessarily the rich. I don't hate Donald, he lies. That's what Stern claims. I don't hate Donald. I hate you for voting for him, for not having intelligence. Typical IQ supremacist, right? And some other type of supremacist too, maybe, huh? He goes on, I do think it would be extremely patriotic of Donald to say, I'm in over my head, which is not true. And I don't want to be president anymore, also not true. It'd be so patriotic that I'd hug him, and then I'd go back to Mar-a-Lago and have a meal with him and feel good about him because it would be such an easy thing to do. What an evil idiot. And he's not even funny anymore. By the way, didn't he have Hillary Clinton on his show? I think he did. So, yeah, he did. So that's disgusting. That's the words of a has-been. Yo, Howard. Stirring a bum. So anyways, I just wanted to share that with you. Yeah, Marie says, funny he used to love Trump. What an old grabbler, says Dialectical Bear. Lord. Yeah, so phony people. Oh, okay. Let me read this. I got this. I think Jesse Lee Peterson got this super chat, or it may have been me, or it may have been Church with Jesse Lee Peterson, but I saw this super chat from Bible Go-To guy. He's an intellectual, I think. Sorry to say it, it's true, Bible Go-To guy, right? And I'm an intellectual. And so he gave the rules of seeking advice. And then I will get to calls. You guys can call in 888-775-3773. Thank you for holding. And he gave a passage. Ecclesiasticus, which is, I think is that the Catholic Bible? It's not in the normal Bible. The normal Bible just has Ecclesiastes, but he has King James. I looked this up and it's on King James Bible Online. Ecclesiasticus, different from Ecclesiastes. Where did you hear that Howard voted for Trump? I didn't hear that part. I didn't hear that Howard voted for Trump. Just that Howard used to love Trump. Maybe before he ran, right? Anyways, 37, Ecclesiasticus 37, 7 through 15. Bear with me, it's going to be a rough read. And they use U's instead of V's and V's instead of U's, so, and it's Old English, but I'm going to read it, and some parts of it are pretty deep. I think. Maybe not deep, right? What do I know about deep? But it's really nice, and it's true. It's like such common sense. Listen to this. Starting with chapter 37, verse 7. Every counselor extolleth counsel, right? Of course. But there is some that counseleth for himself. Isn't that so true? Just like every doctor extols medicine, but not every doctor is actually doing you any good, right? Beware of a counselor and know before what needs he has, for he will counsel for himself in his own needs, right? Lest he cast the lot upon thee, meaning lest he just put his own needs on you and just leave you to suffer, right? And say unto thee that thy way is good, meaning the counselor tells you, oh, you're fine, you're doing fine, and afterwards he stands on the other side to see what happens. I'm kind of translating as I go. Consult not with one that suspecteth thee, and hide thyself from counsel from such as envy thee, meaning those who are envious of you. Neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous, or regarding somebody that she's jealous of. Isn't that true? But meanwhile, people are constantly asking Hillary or they were anyway, about her opinions about Trump. She's jealous of Trump. Neither seek counsel with a coward in matters of war. Isn't that true? Or with a merchant concerning exchange, nor with a buyer about selling. Isn't that the fact? Nor with an envious man about thankfulness, nor with an unmerciful man about kindness, nor with the slothful, the lazy, about work. Isn't that so true? I'm going to get to more of that on that. Nor with a hireling for a year. I'm not sure what that means. Or finishing work. Nor with an idle servant of much business. Hearken not unto these for any matter of counsel. Isn't that such common sense? Hopefully you're following this. But be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord, whose mind is according to thy mind. Thy means yours, right? And thee means you. And will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry. And let the counsel of thine own heart stand, for there is no man more faithful unto thee than it. Interesting, huh? Know for yourself. That's what that's saying. For a man's mind is sometime won't tell him more than 7 watchmen that sit above a high tower. I'm not sure what that means. I went over my head. And above all this, pray to the Most High that he will direct thy way in truth. Isn't that so nice? But it reminds me so much of these commies. I'm going to get to these commies. And yeah, that might be kind of millennial of me, borderline boomer of me, right? To say commies. But these commies that are pushing, such as the ACLU, that are pushing for businesses to cover sick pay, mandatory sick pay, give them sick leave. These people that are McDonald's workers, give them sick leave if they experience COVID-19 symptoms. Basically unlimited, just pay them whether they're working or not. And a lot of the employees are not honest people. They'll take the time off and stay paid and just take advantage. And that's the corruption that's spreading amongst America now, seemingly. What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining. Let me get to Charles. I haven't heard from Charles in forever. Out of Compton, California. I have a famous debate with Charles that's online about, well, you can look it up. It's probably my #1 most watched video on my YouTube channel. Anyways, Charles, good to hear from you. What's up?
James, my good man, how have you been?
Been fine. How about you?
Oh, I've been good, man. Taking it one day at a time, fighting for the spirit and the mind.
Have you been watching Church with Jesse Lee Peterson and my show and stuff? Have you been watching even if you haven't called?
I tap in from time to time.
Okay.
I'm probably not consistent, but I do tap in from time to time.
May I ask how old you are?
I'm 42.
Okay. Oh, I think I knew that. You working?
Okay, so I am. I've been meditating or doing the silent prayer. It's interchangeable to me. I don't want to get caught up in the semantics here, but I heard you say that you don't do the silent prayer.
When
there
did
a
you hear that?
reason why? I heard it from you when one of the days I was listening.
Uh-huh.
I heard you say that you don't do the silent prayer.
Right.
Is that true?
Consistently, no.
Is there a reason why, after all these years of being under the tutelage of Jesse, that it hasn't
Tutelage.
helped you in your path?
I think some people are just trifling, and that would include me.
Okay, so he hasn't been able to be, or that hasn't been able to be influential enough, even on your own journey. And one other thing,
You can't say that. You can't say that because if a person is trifling, then of course the silent prayer won't work if you don't do it.
Well, how come your triflingness is not leaving you after all this time? Why? What have you? Are you addressing your triflingness?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I'm just curious because I'm trying to see if this.
How is it going for you?
My meditation is going well, but one thing that I
Why do you insist on calling it meditation?
Because that's what it is, James. See, I have to pray because
you said that you don't care about the semantics. How come you don't just call it what Jesse calls it?
Because I'm not Jesse's follower. It was meditation.
So then, how come
Jesse
you called it?
prayer.
How come you claimed you lied to me then when you called it the silent prayer then? Because you don't really
I practice
see it that
meditation, but I said you said you don't do his silent prayer, and I said I didn't want to get caught in semantics. So
Right.
if you wanted to call it the silent prayer, I wouldn't mind.
But now you're fighting me on it. You're fighting me on it.
No, I'm not fighting.
Yeah, you are.
I agree. No, it's okay if you call it the silent prayer. And
I'm
I call
not.
it meditation.
I'm not calling it anything. I'm just saying what you seem to insist on calling it meditation, and now you're saying that you did it
but I
before.
don't.
Now you're saying you did it before Jesse, so you don't really agree. It sounds like you don't agree with Jesse.
No, see, when he said silent prayer, and I already meditated, that's why I liked this, because I figured I'm already lined up and the same, in my journey with that. But I think that prayer is important, like the Lord's Prayer. I mean, it's good to say your own prayer, but if you don't know a prayer, and you don't have to say it out loud, you can say it in your head.
So, anyways,
what
are you getting at, Charles?
Helpful. I'm just getting at
because I don't get the sense that you actually have any love for me or Jesse. It doesn't seem that way.
I have love for you, and
Huh?
no, I have love for you and Jesse. I like you. No, you kind of
like me
the other time.
You like me, but I don't know if you love me.
No, I love you. I love you. As human beings, we don't really know each other like that to, have developed that type of relationship. But I love you as a human being and as a fellow Christian. I do, and Jesse too. I think that in the body.
Then
of
how
Christ,
come
we
you
all
come?
love each other.
How come you come off kind of like a snake?
Because I think it's just that I'm so alpha that you feel like I have underlying
snakes
motives.
are not alpha.
I'm not a snake. I'm a tiger, a lion, that type of energy. That's the energy that I bring.
That's nice.
Because I'm really upfront with it. Because I agree with
I don't know,
Jesse on
man.
a lot of things.
I don't know. You just don't seem totally honest.
No, maybe it's because I partially agree with you. See, you have to understand, some people may not totally agree with you.
No, I
and
understand.
you should respect me.
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
There's a whole
that I
lot of people
partially
that
agree with.
partially agree. A whole lot of snakes who partially agree. And
Why am I a snake, though? Because I have a differing opinion. How come we can't celebrate each other's different opinions but not impose them on each
because
other?
that's a liberal thing, celebrating.
Well, I will celebrate. Okay, well,
Celebrating
don't use that
different
word, then.
opinions.
Well,
You know what I mean?
how about just tolerate then?
That's a liberal word too,
Peacefully
man.
tolerate.
maybe you're
Because,
just a recovering kind of a liberal guy.
No, I pick my battles. No, I'm a recovering aggressive person. I used to be really aggressive.
Oh,
now,
yeah,
I'm more peaceful.
That's not good.
Well,
a lot
it wasn't good. That's why I changed. It wasn't
No,
good.
but
and I admit it.
look, listen to this. Because there's a lot of, I've known some people who used to be aggressive and now they're overly nice. And
I'm balanced. If you come smack me, I'm going to smack you back. But I will try to avoid a conflict if possible.
I know, but that's just an intellectual thing that nobody can disagree with. That doesn't mean anything.
Well, it does, because I would defend myself, but I'm just not here.
No. I'm past that already.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I think I agree with you, but I'm trying to figure out why the silent prayer isn't working for you. Why?
Who said it wasn't?
Well, I'm here to get informed. You said you don't do it consistently. I'm wondering
Right.
why. It would seem like it would be ingrained at this point
I
in
said
time.
trifling. I said trifling, man.
Right. But that
And
just
you
led
and
me
you
back
know,
to,
as if you're a Christian, you know that most people aren't actually committed.
well, I know God knows each individual's heart. So
Right.
The level of
So why are you
commitment
trying
is
to
not
be
for
God
me
then?
I'm not. I'm asking. I'm inquiring. I'm curious. I'm not imposing my
Okay.
will. I'm not coming with a predetermined opinion. I'm here to get enlightened by you, so you can let me know.
Because
I've been
it sounds
meditating and
it
helps
sounds
me.
to me like you want to put the blame not on my triflingness, but on the silent prayer.
No, I practice that.
No,
but
because
I'm
you
saying
said
it's
how
helpful
come
to pray
all
prior
these
to
years?
doing it.
Because it sounded like you wanted to say, oh, it's not working because Jesse's stuff doesn't work. Because look at James.
No, I'm wondering
Yeah, it
why
sounds like that.
it hasn't worked better. But I'm telling you,
But you're
I'm
saying it
clarifying for
hasn't
you.
worked when it's me who hasn't worked.
Well, that's what you're clarifying for me. It hasn't
But I just
worked
told
for
you it's
as an
trifling,
individual.
and then you're saying you're blaming the triflingness on it rather than on me.
No, there's no blaming.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
are.
blaming you.
You're
for being
you're
trifling.
trying to act like how come after all these years Jesse
I
hasn't
hope
been
you
able
don't
to
call me
raise
a
you into
trifling.
alpha or something like that.
How come you haven't raised yourself at this point? See, I think at this point you should be your own alpha because
Right.
you've been with Jesse so long. that you should
But
be,
who are you to put
know,
who are you to put that timeline on me and whatever God wants to do with me or Satan wants to do with me or whatever? Why are you so
I'm your
concerned about
brother.
my life?
Okay, this is the way. Let me put it in a better way. It's like I'm your brother, and I'm just inquiring.
My brother and
as far
Satan?
as, no, I don't deal with Satan, man.
I don't know about
look,
that.
And let me tell you something.
Because you don't come
Christ
off
is
as
God.
real. People, okay, like there's people that come off as press 1 if he's coming off as real, or press 2 if he's fake, and press 3 if both of us are fake.
Are you leading the sheeple? Are you leading the sheeple, James?
No, the sheeple don't listen to me. There's
Yeah, the
there's a
sheeple
few
do
people
listen
who
to you.
admire me. That's nice. But
Okay.
this guy's I'm getting twos. There's a couple of ones there. There's a threes who agree both are
it says
fake.
many times, though,
I don't
that
resent
Christ
that.
is God. But James, I
No,
just
man.
want to share,
Okay, there's people
as
who
your
come
brother,
off as people can sense realness and fakeness, and they can't even put their finger on it, maybe necessarily, but the fakeness is coming through, man.
Well, you got to start using critical thinking. Like when it comes
No.
to saying that Christ isn't God, it says too many times in the Bible Christ is God. So that's just something that.
How come you're
I think
talking
we
all
just need to
soft?
stand on that.
Like you want to convince me?
It's
Man,
no, because
the
I'm
Bible
not
just
animated.
the Bible
There's
is
no emotion in
consistent.
this.
It's funny
Yeah.
that Canada caller called me at the end too, trying to convince me about this stuff too. Somebody
Well,
put
it
5.
is consistently. It
No,
says
the
it
Bible
too
consistently says that Jesus is the Son of God. It's quite clear about that. There's a couple places where it kind of says, like, there's one place that I read that, because I was looking for this when I was into the Bible. One time it said, Christ who is God forever praised, but that's the NIV.
Yeah.
And other translations, it doesn't say that. The same verse
But
doesn't say
in
that.
John 1, it does say that Christ is God.
No,
And
it doesn't
says
say that.
And in Hebrews.
No, it does not say those things.
Yes.
You're just
It says
assuming that that's what it
Christ became
means.
flesh and dwelt among us.
Right, but it doesn't mean that
Yeah,
that
so
means
that
that
means that
Jesus
God
was God
became
or is
flesh.
God. Anyways,
He's
man,
a spirit, and he became flesh. Because
do
he
you
was with God
do you
in the
attend
beginning.
that church Crenshaw Christian Center?
No, actually, I don't attend a church right now. I mostly go in my own quiet little prayer closet. I read my scriptures. I say my prayers.
And
I
how'd you
do my
find
meditation.
the show?
Just, I think on YouTube. I think I just stumbled upon it. Jesse was saying something
Man, this guy-
inflammatory. Remember when I first talked to you about the N-word? I think that's where I first stumbled upon it.
I
I
feel like I'd heard from you before, but maybe that was the first time. Yeah.
No, that was the first time I talked to you when
Yeah.
when we discussed the N-word and
You have a family. You're living on your own stuff. I'm just curious about you a little bit.
I'm definitely I've been on my own since I was 16 years old, James.
Okay. Man, don't go you know how you used to be. This is some unsolicited advice, and then I got to go. You know how you used to be like overly aggressive, right?
Yeah.
And now you're trying, it seems like you want to not be like that, right?
I'm not anymore.
But then you're talking all like soft and and trying to convince me and be like this put on sincerity on you. And
This is the true me, James. This is what I've evolved into.
all right. Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Are you welcome, man? You have a blessed day, James.
All
Talk
right.
to you again, all right?
Yeah,
All
nice
right.
to hear from you, Charles. Take care. Dawning Armor says, caller seems honest to me. Dawning Armor, you're admittedly you are a intellectual. There's certain, I don't know, tone of voice, whatever. Anyways, hang on, Art, and the rest of you guys. Let me just give, I don't know if I want to cover that, but okay, I got this text from the ACLU. Hi, James. It's Julia with ACLU People Power. McDonald's workers are on the front lines during the COVID-19 pandemic, yet the vast majority of workers do not have access to paid sick or family leave. McDonald's workers. Supposed to be, McDonald's workers are currently middle-aged Mexican women. And it used to be young teens, people in high school, blacks, whites. But now it's a career. It's like a career now. We need a living wage, communist. That means that if an employee starts to feel COVID-19 symptoms, they must choose between safeguarding their own health and the health of others or potentially losing their job. Nobody should have to make this choice. Will you call to demand that McDonald's give all workers paid sick and family leave now? If ACLU actually cared about these people or were not hypocritical commies, they would make a fund and fund such a thing themselves for those workers rather than try to force McDonald's to do that. Because McDonald's has the right to do that or not for their workers. And it's so typical of like the Obama administration, commie, to try to force employers to cover their health care. Employers have to cover employees' health care, so-called health care, really supposed health insurance, which offers no insurance that you will actually remain healthy. You have to do that for yourself. You know, I heard it. Okay, you guys are going to love this one. I heard a story from this historian type of a person, right? Michael Medved. He's like a conservative Jewish guy. Maybe not the biggest fan of Trump. Typical, right? But he gave this story about the early days of here in America, maybe even before America was founded. They tried at least early on to have like common property. Everybody share their stuff with each other so that no one goes hungry, right? But that didn't work out. People were starving because nobody was actually taking responsibility. If everybody's in charge, nobody's in charge was a thing that one of my coworkers once told me, and that stuck with me because that's reality. You need ownership, and then when you have ownership, you have responsibility over that stuff that you're owning. It's so typical of like renters to just trash a place and say, "Oh, let the landlord take care of it," right? Because they have no ownership, they don't care about it. And there's nothing like having your own thing. Same thing with a business. The workers can never fully appreciate what the owner, the person who's running the business goes through and sees and how he works and how he functions. They actually create more value. So it's crazy. Hakes on DMT says capsule. No, I'm not. I don't even know what that is. I just know that some other host talks about that stuff. But it's so commie. The ACLU needs to be, wouldn't it be nice to bring back the un-American activities, committees, and kick all these un-American people out. It would be nice because people don't even have a real sense of what America is about anymore, or what common sense is about, what Christianity is about, what being a so-called worker is about. Okay, let me get to Art from Ohio. Art, nice to hear from you. What's up?
So my thing is this, man. With Howard Stern, man, I'm just like I always tell you, I'm about 33 or whatnot. So I grew up really watching Howard Stern and stuff, man.
Yeah.
And it's so funny how he all his show was about was farting, saying stupid, crazy stuff that make me and my age group at age of 15 laugh. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? For doing like making fun of little Beetlejuice with the messed up teeth. Or whatnot, you know what I mean? Talking funny him about him or what now. And I always look at Howard Stern like, hello?
Same thing with Eminem. Eminem
Yeah.
was so thumb your nose to the establishment, to the mainstream media. Now he sounds just like them.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess I kind of always kind of feel sorry for Howard Stern because he seemed like the funny outcast dude. So I kind of, so I kind of like grew towards him because I kind of feel bad for him because he looked like an outcast, like funny type of dude. You just have to give a chance to talk and he'd make you laugh.
Yep.
But for you to be trying to speak on President Trump or whatnot, and he's a alpha male and a logical thinking man that's trying to lead America into the right place, buddy. You cutting off your face despite your body.
Yeah.
You shooting yourself in the foot and
True.
going against the best interest of your own constituents and the American people. So therefore, Howard Stern, you just committed self-suicide against your own career, and a lot of you Hollywood people did too, and you politicians are too, and you doctors are too, and you fake Christians and pastors are too, man. You cutting your face off despite your body, man.
Yeah.
And we waking up, man, and we don't need you. We don't need no whole bunch of liars, man. That's why I'm fighting to see I've been fighting to see myself for the last 3 years because I got a whole bunch of females fighting against me, lying against me, trying to keep me away from my son, and they some odd reason to think that I'm gonna sit back and let them destroy me when I know I'm telling the truth. I'm out of here, Hake.
Right on, Art. Did you say that you have females going against you to?
Oh yeah.
To hurt
Don't
your
get
son?
Me started, man. Oh no, yeah, that's what they doing. That's what they doing in the long run. If I know that you sitting here lying and that you're evil, my mom and my baby mom, yeah, you gonna harm my son because you gonna end up teaching my son to go and run with the evil, not the truth.
Yeah,
he's go ahead, I'm listening.
Did you hear Jesse Lee Peterson's first? I don't know if it was the first monologue he had, but it was, I think, in the first hour after one of his first calls. He talked about this issue of men whose children are being destroyed by the mothers and the women. That was a really nice monologue.
Man, hey, man, that's how I originally got to listening to Jesse like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
Is just listening to y'all talk about stuff like this, man, and it's the truth, man.
Yeah.
And it's to the point where I know that they acting like they don't see it, the females, but I know they see it.
Yeah.
And they just. And you know the sad part is, I'm going to say one more thing. Hey, you got me on here. They really think that female can be a president. All you think you're going to do is be the president,
right?
Mess America up, and then they're going to be trying to run to Iraq to come over here to try to help them restore America. And then all Iraq is going to be doing is effing our American females, and they're going to turn into Iraqi females after they reproduce. Come on, man. You females ain't running nothing.
Yeah, it's true. It reminds me of the homosexual guy running Colorado, or the one running Ireland.
One more thing. I keep saying one more thing. I don't understand how they don't act like they don't see that the people that are running the Democrats are a whole bunch of crazy liberal females that don't look like they comb their damn hairs, and a whole bunch of damn gays,
right?
And beta males.
I appreciate it, Art.
I'm gone, man.
Thank you, man. Take care.
Bye. Yeah.
Bye. You know, speaking of Howard Stern and Kathy Griffin, whom Dylon used to love Kathy Griffin. He used to think that she was funny. Not anymore. He doesn't think that. I think he probably feels sorry for her. Kathy Griffin being the one who held the fake Trump severed head. Disgusting. Like she was ISIS. Like she was a redheaded ISIS. And Eminem, you know, the rapper guy, white, from Detroit, I think. I think he's from there. Who's not funny he's not funny, or he's just a miserable, overgrown, old, angry, angsty, second stage of adolescence type of a guy. And all these comedians who think that it's so original to make fun of Trump. It's so unoriginal. It's been tired since 2015, mid 2015, you know, when Trump announced. It was not funny. It wasn't original. It was kind of like hearing band members get on their soapbox, like Green Day and all them, complaining about George W. Bush. Yeah, we get it. And I was no fan of George W. Bush. I mean, I did vote for him twice, but it was so tired and unoriginal. And so he's right. These people are cutting off their faces despite their bodies. I like that term. Normally, it's cutting off your nose despite your face, but I like the cutting off the whole face despite the body. Kathy Griffin. Yeah, and you know, speaking of Kathy Griffin, I got to give you guys this story because I just been thinking about it. I don't know how it came up. I think it came up really out of left field. And I mean left field. But I have this mess about Gloria Vanderbilt, and then I will get back to your calls. And I am going to open the treasure chest on D-Live, and I am going to read more of your super chats and stuff. Appreciate you guys. So, Gloria Vanderbilt. This is from Wikipedia. Gloria Laura Vanderbilt. Somebody brought it up to me, and so I just looked it up out of curiosity, okay? I had no idea. Age, lifespan, February 20th, 1924 to June 17th, 2019. So she died in 2019. Was an American author, actor, artist, actress, fashion designer, heiress, and socialite. She was a member of the Vanderbilt family of New York and the mother of CNN TV anchor Anderson Cooper, the gay one. Actually, there's so many of them over in CNN. Not the black one, the white gay one. Vanderbilt was married 4 times, divorced 3 times, gave birth to 4 sons in all. The shameless, brazen, homosexual Anderson Cooper being the youngest. And I have information about that. She also had several other significant relationships. She accused her first husband of, quote-unquote, abusing her. She married after age 17, divorced by age 20, 21. Vanderbilt's 4th marriage was to author Wyatt Emery Cooper. December 24th, Christmas Eve, 1963. The marriage lasted 15 years, ended with his death in 1978. He was undergoing open heart surgery. He died. They had 2 sons, Carter Vanderbilt Cooper, July 65, died in July 88. Died by suicide or as a victim of medication that precipitated in a psychotic episode. By age 23, he jumped from the family's 14th floor apartment. Horrific, right? And Anderson Cooper, born in 67. So his dad died when he was 10, 11. CNN news anchor, right? Anderson Hayes Cooper. Youngest of 4 boys. Vanderbilt maintained romantic relationships with photographer and filmmaker Gordon Parks for many years until his death. These are so-called white people, by the way, in 2006. Other notable so-called lovers, which is Wikipedia's word for it, right, included Marlon Brando. Is Marlon Brando the guy who played Godfather? I don't know, but he's a famous actor. He was really admired by a lot of people. Frank Sinatra, who looked, he's dead now, right? From the Rat Pack. Strikingly similar to, who's that guy? The Me Too so-called journalist. Look it up later, right? Howard Hughes, the guy who made, I think he's related to airplanes. And Roald Dahl. Roald Dahl was a strange person, but he wrote kind of childrenish books that I read as a kid, but some of them were strange, as in creepy, as in maybe he was evil person. While appearing as a guest on her son Anderson Cooper's television show, Anderson on September 19th, 2011, Vanderbilt referred to comedian and actress Kathy Griffin as her fantasy daughter. Oh, shoot. Fantasy daughter, isn't that interesting? She had 4 sons and had a fantasy daughter. So okay, I'm speculating, right? But by Anderson's birth, she must have really hated men. And maybe that's why he came out gay, or turned gay, right? Homosexual. Look at how she wished she had a daughter in her pre-Trump derangement syndrome, Kathy Griffin. No wonder, huh? No wonder. I gotta open the treasure chest. Oh my gosh. Mobetta Jankum said, some name their child and hair son. I don't want to read that. And I don't want to read that. Mobetta Jankum, he gave a funny D Live, what do you call that? Diamond. Appreciate it, man. I like to keep it clean. Joel's all, I got you good on that one. I jumped a little bit. Oh my gosh. Like watching a horror movie. You jump. Asmodor gave a diamond, said, Charles has a 90 IQ and thinks he's above average. Whoa. But is it true, though? Because it's not necessarily an attack if it's true. Mobetta Jankum says, caller, hang on. Mr. Click wants to speak with you. Who? Mobetta Jankum says, Asmodor blessing us with his presence. Diamond. Charles, do you jog? Asks Asmodor. Good question. Asmodor says, Charles is a passive-aggressive, which is feminine. You don't want to pay $15 for a Big Mac? Bigot. Yeah, that's what's going to happen that's what kind of has to happen if you force McDonald's to be covering people's unlimited sick pay and all that crap. Mobetta Jankum said, Egypt crumbled after ancient version of ACLU. Interesting. Next year, we get the first ever first gender neutral object, says Mobetta Jankum, with a Ninja Genie. Dang. First gender neutral object. I don't know what that means, actually. Amazing Sound Checker says, D Live taking my lemons away. If I don't, 2FA. Mobetta Jankum says, fellow fans, you are the D Live crew. We so hungry. He says oh no, never mind. I got that one. So, congratulations to the luckiest followers. Let me read these YouTube super chats, guys. Appreciate them. King Alpha Nerd says, if you think The Simpsons is edgy, don't watch the Boondocks in South Park. Oh yeah, South Park. I forgot about them. That should have made my list. I never saw Boondocks, but I read the comic strip in the newspapers. And yeah, it didn't seem degenerate though to me. I just remember reading racial stuff in Boondocks and mentions of like Lauryn Hill, I think. Things like that. Joe said, when God renews your spirit, it's so easy to see right from wrong, good from evil. There is no in between. Nice. Jib Jab says, Alpha stream thus far. That was at 17 minutes in. Thanks, man. Red Green Show says, I love you, Hake. LOL. Is that what you need this morning? Thank you. Yeah, because I was like, I don't get the feeling that you love me. I squeaked a little bit. King Alpha Nerd says, I can call you many things, Charles, but Alpha is not one of them. You sound very angry and brainwashed. Forgive your mama. Might be an interesting point, Charles, something to think about. I don't know if he's still listening. But anyways, I appreciate it. That's an interesting question. Okay, so guys, we are going to be having, I don't want to make any promises. I have some we have some interesting things lined up, as always, right? We always have something coming up. But anyways, the fallen state, keep up with the fallen state, and Jesse Lee Peterson, gonna get it off your chest Friday tomorrow. And of course, hey, I didn't really talk too much about blacks, did I? Except for Charles. I didn't talk about blacks all day, did I? Haha. I only talked about Mother's Day, the gays, women, and the commies, the ACLU. Congratulations, blacks. I didn't really talk about you. Okay. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Get ready for a fun show tomorrow. And, yeah. Make sure you're doing the silent pair. Don't be trifling like me. Interesting, huh? Okay, guys. Take care. And make sure that you check out Get a Job's Teespring store, Jesse Lee Peterson's Teespring store, and mine. I am way behind. I got to get you guys the I Love Boomers t-shirt. I'll be working on it. All right. Take care.